Hello, welcome to another wiki procedure, and today we are going to look on how we can apply for a non-governmental organization dissolution in Kenya. Down here below, we have given you a link which is going to direct you to our wiki procedure website page where we have given you detailed information on how to go about the application process. Additionally, on the right hand side of our screen, we have included a select language option through which you can select the language which you can easily understand by clicking on the downward pointing arrow and choosing the language of your choice. For example, by choosing Swahili, all the information on the wiki procedure website page will be translated to Swahili and you can easily read through the information. And you can easily once again revert back to English by clicking on the downward pointing arrow and choosing English. We have also included external links to other websites which you can visit and get more information on how you can go about the application process. We have also included links to documents which you are going to make the application with. The main application is done by writing a request letter to the executive director of the Non-Governmental Organization Coordination Board, but you are also supposed to fill in a returns form. We are going to take a look at this form as we move on with our presentation today, how you are supposed to fill it. And we also have a video which goes into much detail on how to do the NGO returns in Kenya. But before we do all that, I would like you to hit the like button, subscribe button, and also notification bell so you can get notifications every time we upload new content. So let's get back to our presentation. And the list of items which are going to cover in this session include the need for dissolution, the eligibility criteria, the required documents, steps to follow while making the applications, the fees, the validity period, the processing time, office location and contact information, and any other information that we may find relevant on how to apply for this NGO dissolution in Kenya. So welcome to our presentation, which is brought to you by wikiprocedure.com. The need for dissolution. This application allows for NGO to dissolve itself. Dissolution or closing of an NGO might be a result of involuntary reasons. For example, an external shutdown is required, usually initiated through the Attorney General Office, or voluntary reasons which for example the missions or the objectives have already been achieved, a financial crisis has taken place, the board and staff have exhausted their energy and ideas, or internal interpersonal disputes have overtaken the organization. So for whichever reason the NGO decides to dissolve itself, they can apply for this dissolution through the NGO Coordination Board. The eligibility criteria is that registered non-governmental organizations in Kenya are eligible to make an application to dissolve itself. The required documents: you need a written application addressed to the executive director and signed by 3 top officials of the organization. You need a copy of the minutes authorizing the dissolution of the organization. You need a copy of an advertisement informing the general public of the intended dissolution. You also need documentary evidence that all employees have received their terminal dues. You need an inventory of all assets of the NGO and an outline plan for transferring the said assets to an organization with similar objectives. Also, you need annual returns that the organizations have been submitting through the years of their operation, and the original certificate of registration, which will have to be surrendered to the Non-Governmental Organization Coordination Board. The steps to follow while making the application. This application can only be done in person, and the first step is that the board of directors of the NGO should carry out a meeting and take minutes on having to dissolve the organization. After that, you are then supposed to make an advertisement or an advert on the local dailies informing the general public on the intended dissolution. You should then make a formal application to the executive director seeking a consent for dissolution, and the formal application letter should be signed by at least 3 registered officials of the organization. After that, you're supposed to submit the application together with all the required documents to the Non-Governmental Organization Coordination Board offices, and these documents include minutes of the meeting proposing dissolution, a copy of the minutes authorizing the dissolution of the organization, copy of an advertisement informing the general public of the intended dissolution, documentary evidence that all employees have received their terminal dues, inventory of all assets of the NGO, and an outline plan of transferring the said assets to organizations with similar objectives, annual returns that the organizations have been submitting to the Non-Governmental Organization Coordination Board, and the original certificate of registration, which will be surrendered to the NGO Coordination Board. After that, you should then proceed to pay the processing fees and submit the receipt to the Non-Governmental Organization Coordination Board offices, and a processing fee of 2,000 shilling is paid for the application. On completion of this process, the Non-Governmental Organization Coordination Board will take 2 days to acknowledge the dissolution, and the dissolution will be effected after 90 days. So let's just check out how this is done. As we have already mentioned, that this application is done primarily by writing the an official request letter to the executive director of the Non-Governmental Organization Coordination Board, requesting for the NGO to be dissolved. And so before you do that, make sure you have your advertisement, which you have already made to the public radio. You also make sure you have all your annual returns, and these annual returns are done by completing of the annual return forms. This is form number 14, and this form can be obtained. You can download it here from our wiki procedure website page, or you can also download it from the NGO Bureau website, or you can also just visit the NGO offices, board offices, for you to be able to download the form. In the website, just go to downloads, click on downloads, and it's going to direct to the download page, where you just have to type in the name of the document, and you'll be able to download the document itself. It's known as form 14. So you can just write form 14 here. So and this is the annual returns form. We have a video showing how you are supposed to complete the annual returns, and a dissolution will not be granted if you have not been submitting annual returns. And annual returns are a must for NGOs who have a budget of more than 1 million Kenya shillings, and they are supposed to be submitted 3 months after the end of the financial year. So make sure you filled your annual returns, giving details about various aspects of your organization. These include the general information, your financial status, the assets, liabilities, which sector you're working in, the personnel, and we have a video which details how this is done. So check out that video, how to file personal annual returns for NGOs. So once you've filed the annual returns together with all the required documents, and you have made the request in writing together with the minutes, you're only supposed to pay the processing fee, which is 2,000 shillings, to the NGO's Coordination Board account. This is the account number which you've given right here in Cooperative Bank, Coop House branch. And the validity of the dissolution is forever. Once it's dissolved, you have to register a new NGO, cannot redissolve or re-establish it. The processing time is 2 days to acknowledge. The approval is granted within 90 days. And our office location and contact information is that the NGO Coordination Board, the headquarters are at Cooperative Bank House, Selassie Avenue, Nairobi, Kenya, and you can visit the website through the www.ngobureau.or.ke. The board also has regional offices, but we want to mention them here. But you can visit their website of www.ngobureau.or.ke or our wiki procedure page to get more information on how you can contact the regional office. Other information is that after you've made this application, you should or you will be required by law to surrender the original certificate of registration to the board upon dissolution. So thank you for watching wiki procedure today. Before we conclude, I will urge you once more to click the like button, subscribe, and also notification bell so you can get notification every time we upload new content. So thank you for watching, and I wish you all the best.